Did a video a little bit ago talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene calling for the head of FEMA to resign about these claims about the funding being misappropriated. Well, she's not the only Republican complaining about the disaster response for Hurricane Helene. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is saying it was an abject failure and it was the worst, blah, blah, blah. All the talking points about how bad the disaster relief has been. Yet some of his own party don't even agree with him. Tom Tillis of North Carolina said there's no way you could have been prepared for everything that was going on, and that the response has been going as well as it could be expected given the devastation of the hurricane. So he doesn't even have the support of his entire party about what's going on. And the people representing the states that were affected are saying, things were done well. Joe Biden declared it as a disaster ahead of time. They were staging stuff ahead of time. They were prepared. But Mike Johnson wants to call it a failure. Well, in part, they did not pass the extra funding like I talked about in the other video for FEMA to give them additional funds for disaster relief. And as of yet, Mike Johnson is refusing to call the House back into session to vote on additional funding and resources to help FEMA. If FEMA is so misguided and so understaffed and not doing everything they need to do, why not give them more money? Give them the resources they need to do the job if you think that's the problem. Now, ultimately, they are going to have to pass a funding package for FEMA to give them additional resources as hurricane season is expected to go for about another month and a half. And FEMA said they may not have enough money to get through hurricane season, so something's going to have to be done. And I expect that something will happen. But for right now, Republicans are trying to grandstand on this, at least some of them are, because they need something. They need anything to help them win in this upcoming election. And they are trying to turn a natural disaster into a scandal, into something they can run on because they have nothing else. How people still vote for Republicans, I will never understand. They will vote against their best interest and the interests of the American people a lot of the time, but then complain when things aren't being done and aren't getting done the way they would like. It doesn't make any sense, and this is a failure of Republican leadership to even elect Mike Johnson. But that's only because their margin was so thin, they had to elect somebody. So this is just showing that Republicans do not want to effectively lead this country. They want to obstruct and block everything, but then complain when things aren't getting done by Democrats.